Institution semateeka jeba amendinga ne bakkiriza nti ffe abaana ba independence abali wansi wa myaka 35 na waggulu wa 18 oba tujjamu oba otulemesa nti ne bwabeera chairperson wa electoral commission byabakama tasobola kutambula ennaku ezo 29 mu Uganda okunganya emikono ne bakuweereza helicopter nti tambulo noonyeje emikono kiba tekisoboka
liza bukwakkuliza obwo
bafune ejo emikono egyetaagisa muteeka naye bandi tebasobola si kyabuwaze nti balina okwesimbawo kati kitegeeza nti obusobozi obusobola okutalaga eggwanga mu mwezi gumu baba tebanabuweza.
Tukavalinga district 98 kyetaaga ng'ofunye ba agents buli district ate nga ffe ba independent candidates tetulinga bali abakula balala baludde mu system nti bo buli wamu we bagenda babamanyi so ffe tuli bapya mu system nti olinza okubanga ndi wano ekisooka nze ndi wakakumira aba amuru tebamanyi abe moroto abe solotso nga kiba kineetaagisa okonvinsinga omuntu okumpa omukono nga neetuukiddeyoko kyokka ate bompesa wa 7 omu district namba afuna emikono 10 kiba tekisoboka.
We really sat down and we come with a complaint, all of us, that is unfair, moving only 7 hours that were given to us to either maybe going to West Nile. Of course, West Nile, going that side, it needs the whole day. So how do you expect me to go that side in West Nile and collect signatures?
So tubawadde ensale ya nnaku 5 okutuddamu ate tetugamba nti tubaze weekdays bo byabo babikola ku short notice tubawadde ennaku 5 bwe babanga tebatuzeemu tulina omulimo kwazi ne baluwa tugenda zikopinga bannaffe tuweeko banuupu tubeeko ne parties endala n'abalala beesimbyeko tubategeeze batwegateko mu luno olugendo tugenda kumaakinga tujja kujja wano tujja kusula ku electoral commission tujja kwetika emikeeka gyaffe baana abasazeewo tutomera banaatutomera naye nga tulemedde wano kubanga tulina okulwanirira kye bayita obwenkanya tulwanirire ne demokrasi wali neggwanga.
Simbi si kipya era oyo ayogera nti ye yakalaba nti yakategeera nti sente zeetaagisa okwesimbawo eza nomination fees ti $2,000,000 ate oyo tetumanyi gyava kuba akakiiko kitooka tekateekako sikekagereka ezo nsimbi zibaddewo muteeka ly'obufuzi libaddewo muteeka erikuga eritereeza oba erirungamya okulonda okuba president kati babaayo oyo nga yakima empapula nga tamanyi nti ajja kwesaaga okubeerawo ne $2,000,000 ez'obuwaze ate nga tezizzibwayo tebazikuddiza bw'obanga toyiseemu oyo ye tetumanyi gy'abaava.
Saba electoral commission efune engeri gyeyongezaayo ennaku ze baatuwa okunoonyezaamu emikono kubanga bw'obalamu okuva ku lunaku lwe batandika ogaba foomuzi zino baatuwa ennaku 29 okunoonya emikono 100 mu district 98 eza Uganda.
They only gave us 7 hours to go that side and get signatures, which is impossible.
Bo bennyini bwe baali bakendeeza ennaku za nomination okuzijja mu October tebeebuuzako ku ba presidents abeesimbyewo kubanga nze already nali ndina ekiwandiiko kuva electoral commission ne bannange nga kinzikiriza okukola presidential consultations banditwise ne bagamba mu abeesimbyewo twagala kubawa obudde obumala for campaigning ennaku tuzikendeza naye bo baatuula ne bagamba bakikoze okwo kuba kulemesa eyo teba democracy.
Everybody coming to pick the form for presidency is not about the presidency only, but it is the way the people are now perceiving leadership in this country. Two things. Leadership is supposed to be people-centered and service-oriented. But now in Uganda, especially political leadership, is just about self. It is self-centered and power-oriented. People want to get power and serve their own self-interests. Why? Because they have seen that it is politics. It is only in politics where you can eat, whether you can materialism, resources, jobs, whatever. If you are not in politics, you can't get that. So the leadership has turned from being people-centered and service-oriented, and it has gone to self-centered and power-oriented. Get power to serve your own interests. Therefore, everybody is eyeing every position. Number two, the leadership in Uganda, the way it has been exercised, the political leadership, all the politicians right from LC, or let's say the bigger one, from 5 councillor members of parliament and what, because the type of people who are in those positions are not highly regarded, because the way they are playing their politics or leadership does not give honor and respect to these positions. Because me, for instance, when I was, during that time before we were also politicians, to be a minister, to be a member of parliament was a very highly valued, respected position. Why? Because of what people were expecting out of you and how they were seeing you going to lead them to the right direction, to deliver them from the challenges they would be facing. So if you got that position, you would even have had good education, experience, practical experience. You'd be an effective, qualified, highly qualified person to serve in that office. And therefore, the office would be respected and honored. But as we talk now in Uganda, leadership at political level, I can assure you, Ugandans don't respect or honor those people in those positions. Because one of what leadership has become, because it is not perceived as something that will help you as people, therefore it no longer has a meaning for them. Secondly, the people who go into those leaderships are not people expected to be in those leadership. And therefore they are not people who are supposed to be honored and highly respected. They are not. Me, I'm telling you, I see these ministers. If you ask me, I do not think I can name even 3 ministers, or say 5. I can't name 5 ministers in this country. And if me, Miria, cannot name them, what about the rest of Ugandans? How many ministers do they know? And what do they do exactly? You find that a ministry has like 4 ministers. What are they doing? Me, I see them, I meet them at like funerals or wedding, and the ministers come in and sit. And when Miria Matembe arrives, I'm not honoring myself. It is God who gave me the honor. As soon as I arrive, people announce there is a special guest who has come in. Our honorable minister, our minister, I left long ago. But the caliber of people, and who has caused this? When I was still a minister, that's when I realized that President Museveni does not respect ministers. He doesn't regard them as anything valuable. He looks at cabinet as one which will endorse, to give him, what do we call it? Credibility. To give him, I missed this word, legitimacy. You get it? The cabinet is supposed, President Museveni perceives the cabinet as a body which will give him legitimacy of the decisions he's making. And therefore, it doesn't matter whether it is a minister who is knowledgeable, it doesn't matter whether they have intelligence or what, whether they are, that's why he appoints fishermen and fisherwomen, because when he comes and chairs the cabinet, they will say, he will tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, yes. Then they say yes, and he gets legitimacy. His decisions become legitimate instead of being illegal. They are legitimized by these lower people of Kariba. Now, I recognize that actually for him, the only position which is important in this country is being a president. And therefore, he looked at that position, being the president, and he's the only one who can hold that position. He looks at it as the best and the only one who, the only position that matters in this land, and he's the only one who can hold it. But for the last 40 years, he has held it. Ugandans have realized that, wait a minute, this position is as as also as maybe meaningless, as also valueless as these other positions? Or if he is not doing anything, why isn't it also good for us also to go there? Maybe we could do better than he is doing. So he didn't want the position to be competed for, but now, because it has become valueless in the sight of many Ugandans, that's why you see these young people going there to contest for that position, because it has lost value, it has lost meaning, and it has lost sense to many Ugandans, and they say, why not also go and try? In any case, that's where money belongs. That's where money comes from. And thirdly, bearing in mind of the type of people that are going there, because the other day I saw a small girl of 22 years, he was even chewing her chewing gum as she was being interviewed by media, and she said, no, you see, for me, we've been complaining that we are suffering, and I don't want to complain anymore. I say, let me also go make an attempt at this president's office, so that when I go there, I can also change the lives of people and stop them and stop them complaining.
Bonita Nasanga nziza wano okukyuma empapula okusobola okwesimbawo kuba president 2026-2031. Ensonga ezimu kuzindeese wano eno, abaana ab'emyaka gyange basusse okufuna embuto nga abasajja ababeera babakozesezza tebavunaanibwa, ne babeera abavunaaniddwa omwana ye asigala afunidde olubuto, abaana tebafuna, ne bwabeera asiyewaddeyo alukuze tasobola kulukuza. Nze nganze nkuziddwa single mother era ambeezezza okutukano y'omu ku bampaliriza okujja wano okwesimbawo.
Bambita Tibesigwa Hilda okuva Ekamuli Busoga. Nzize okwesimbawo ku kifo eky'obwa president okulabika nga nkyusaako ebintu ebisinga ebitateredde. Abantu si bamativu era embeera si nnungi mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda. Era abasoga banteesemu obwesige ne bagamba tulaba osobola.
You see, I saw that one. You see why we are getting those ones? Is because President himself, because of his love for power. But I'm so glad that I know many things which other people may not know. Because of his love for power, when we are making the constitution, we had put a presidential term, a presidential age limit. There was age limit as to which age you can contest for presidency. I think we had put like something like 35, and then minimum 35. I can't remember properly, but we put a minimum age. We were looking at somebody who has already finished education, somebody who has experience in work, who has done some work, who has seen, who has traveled in Uganda, who has known what Uganda is like and the nature of the nation it is, because of the work he will have done. And then we said age limit, the 75, because that at that age you have served enough, you are too old. Let the brainy, vibrant people go and serve as president. But because he loved power so much, he said, and he wanted to attract the junior, the young people, support him in his love for power by removing the term limit. He said, let's also remove the term limit, the term limit for becoming a president. And he removed. They amended the constitution and put any adult, and any adult is 18 years. So he didn't know that actually by removing that minimum age limit, he was causing himself the shame and embarrassment of being a candidate with people who have nothing, know nothing in this country. So it is his own fault. He's causing all this. But for me, it hurts me for this nation.